The incident took place at an anti-government rally in May. It was captured on camera by an activist.
I was shocked and very angry. I would never have believed it wasn't a policeman. And now anyone can wear a uniform, interrogate me. That won't ease tensions between police and citizens. And it raises the question over the legitimacy of law enforcement. The most worrying thing is we know Macron has been aware of this for 2.5 months from the very start. So we see intent to cover this up.
RT's Charlotte Duminsky has more details now on how this scandal has affected Macron's presidency.
Well, a shocking video that shocked many people here in France. What you see on that video is Alexandre Benalla. First of all, he is grabbing a woman and charging her down a street. He passes the camera that's filming him, and then a little bit later we see him emerge once again. This time he emerges next to a male protester, and what is clearly seen on that video is him grabbing that male protester's neck, hitting him on the head, and then he appears to be stamping him on the stomach as he falls to the ground. Well, why was he there? Well, he had asked his bosses, his work at the Elysee Palace, that he could go and observe the CRS, the riot police, during the May Day protests to see how operations are carried out in regards to security. Now, he wasn't on a working day, he was on a day off, and he was only there to observe, certainly not take part in the police action against the protesters. And that itself has sparked a huge backlash here in France.
I've watched the video and I'm shocked, just like the whole world. The video poses a number of questions to Emmanuel Macron.
We need a commission inquiry. What is a private Elysee aide doing among law enforcement officers? This question must be posed to Emmanuel Macron.
I can't believe this guy is still in the service of the President of the Republic. So Macron tolerates that? The film scene is very violent.
Macron's colleague usurps police insignia and hits a man to the ground. You cannot want an exemplary republic and let people think that there can be double standards, one justice for French citizens and one for presidential workers.
If we accept that anyone can pretend to be a police officer, we no longer live under state rule of law.
Well, who is Alexandre Benalla? Well, what we know about him is that he has been politically active since his 20s. Now, he was a security aide to some of France's previous ministers, but he joined the Macron presidential campaign back in 2016. He is an aide to Macron's chief of staff, and he is normally the person in charge of security arrangements. As such, he's often seen with President Macron at events just a few meters away. There's plenty of videos of the two together. This is a man who really has the president right next to him almost all the time that he's on official duties. Now, this is the official statement that the Elysee Palace has made this morning in regards to the situation.
He has been suspended for 15 days without pay. He has been relieved of his functions regarding the organization of security for the president's movements. This sanction is punishment for unacceptable behavior and constitutes a final warning. It is the most serious punishment ever administered to an aide working at the Elysee.
Well, an investigation has been opened by the public prosecutor here in Paris. They are looking at a number of aspects which could lead to formal charges. They are violence by a public official, illegal use of a police insignia because he was wearing a police insignia at one point during that May Day protest, and also pretending to be a police officer. Now, that charge alone, if it's made and if he's found guilty, carries a sentence of up to a year in jail and a €15,000 fine.
And the French president, in the meantime, seems to be dodging a straight response on that growing scandal. He brushed off any damage done by the issue. He brought the discussion back to Marianne, the symbol of France.
Président, pourquoi ne pas vouloir nous répondre sur l'affaire Alexandre Benalla?
Et donc c'est ça Marianne, parce qu'on parle de Marianne, de la Poste.
La République, Monsieur le Président, par cette affaire?
Non, la République, elle est inaltérable.
Now, the viral internet video, This Is America, has been parodied by a performer of Iraqi descent. We spoke to the man behind This Is Iraq.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now.
This is Iraq. Corrupt in the area. My area. Voicey hysteria. Saying we gon' take care of ya. Barrels on barrels on barrels. Food for barrels and barrels. Halliburton the demolished. Delivered the mission accomplished.
I think there's a close association between America and Iraq. Given that the US-led invasion of Iraq is a major contributing factor to where we are today. I think it was just sort of the perfect backdrop for this track to be done on the back of a track about America. When humanity takes a back seat to corrupt politics, to greed, to dirty money, religion, something needs to be said. And I feel like we conveyed that pretty good in the track itself. And then just raising awareness. I think that's important. I've had people come up to me and tell me and thank me for raising awareness and getting getting them more familiar with the subject that they weren't so familiar with, maybe because they were too young at the time when the invasion happens. If this track can just impact one person in a positive manner and sort of get that dialogue and that conversation going, then sort of it's achieved its goal, and I'm vindicated in releasing it.
The Russian Defense Ministry has unveiled video of its new generation weapons in action. Some of the world's most powerful armaments are now operational in the Russian military. Murad Gaziev takes a closer look.
When Putin announced this new arsenal, it came out of nowhere. Seemed like sci-fi, overkill to some. But no, we now have videos of each. Kinjal, or dagger in Russian, is a hypersonic missile, and it's fast, really fast. It flies at 3 kilometers a second, and if anything tries to shoot it down, it dodges too, maneuvering, flying in an unpredictable trajectory. World first, by the way, though the US plans to test its own analog next year. Sarmat. This is the overkill part. A new nuclear ICBM that carries, get this, 20 nuclear warheads. The real ace, though, is its range, which is practically unlimited. Where past nuclear missiles had to use the shortest flight path and fly through air defenses, this thing can literally fly to the South Pole and back up to hit its target from behind. If, for whatever reason, you don't feel like flying through Antarctica, there's Avangard. It's designed to literally ram its way through enemy anti-missile defenses with speed. First, it's lifted into space, then its engines turn on, and it enters the atmosphere at Mach 20. That's roughly 7 kilometers a second. Poseidon. The Greek god of the sea may be gone, but he's got a no less terrifying successor. A nuclear-powered torpedo that travels so deep and so fast, it's, in theory, undefeatable. Burevestnik, a new nuclear-powered, nuclear-capable cruise missile. It's literally powered by a nuclear reactor on board inside the missile, meaning it's got indefinite range so long as the reactor has fuel. It can stay airborne, float around and around until the opportunity to strike. Combat lasers have always been a cool science fiction gimmick, but they never really got going. The science and technical requirements were too great, until now, it seems. Peresvet, named after a Russian warrior monk, is a laser weapon system designed to deliver incredible amounts of energy in a small area. So shoot down or melt down an incoming drone or jet or shell, for example. Other than that, not much known yet. Now, one might ask, isn't all that just begging for an arms race? Is Russia itching for a fight? No, says Putin. It's all about balance. Balance means peace. Before, things were even. Russia and the US had nuclear parity, mutually assured destruction. Then, after the USSR collapsed, NATO began to expand, began to field new weapons that could destroy Russian nukes. What Putin unveiled is Russia's answer, a return to military equality, status quo, a return to balance.
Critics warn a new Israeli nation-state law turns the country's Arabs into second-class citizens. We'll have more details on that after a short break.